Hey, thanks for coming. Anyways, this is an interview. Hello, Elias.
Thank you for having me here, Antonio. I'm very happy to be here talking to your audience.
Yeah, I have no idea how many people are viewing this. 100, maybe 10,000? Who knows? But we all want to ask you, how did you become an artist?
That's a very good question because it's not completely clear what it is to be an artist,
Yes.
right?
They're like
So,
painting artists, geometrical artists. Oh yeah, if you don't know who this is Elias Crispin. He has worked on some pieces in the Louvre.
well, I started as an engineer. I studied computer science. But I had a strong influence from my grandmother, who's an artist, and also in Venezuela, where I grew up, there's a strong geometrical abstraction presence for the art names we have locally as artists, like Jesus Soto, Cruz Pies, Diego. So all that together had me a bit sensitive to geometrical art, but I fell in love with programming and went on the computer science way.
Okay.
But many years later, I saw a work by Jesus Soto, and I combined that wonderful view of this piece with everything I had learned on calculus and math graphing. And I said, wow, if we could connect graphs with and dynamic graphs, parametric dynamic graphs with this sculpture, it would be wonderful. Maybe I'll have something interesting in my hand.
Wait, actually, I'm not gonna move on to my script because what you just said, that made me think of another question.
Wow.
Have you been inspired by like Cubism?
Not exactly.
Okay.
Good question.
Okay. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Picasso and his friends.
Okay. So explain how your artworks move. Now I know because I've had to work on it, but the viewers here, they don't know. So how do your artworks move?
Well, basically, I defined a basic geometry of elements, and so far I've worked with vertically suspended elements. So I suspend them by very thin nylon strings.
So like fishing wire?
Yes.
Yes.
Very thin fishing wire.
And how do they move?
Okay, I connect those strings that raise vertically to a control mechanism, a motion control mechanism. This motion control mechanism has a little electrical motor for each string, a spool, and that spool attached to an electrical motor. So the string is rolled onto the spool, and the spool attached to the motor. I have between tens and hundreds of motors connected to one computer where a software, running software, has algorithms that convert a mathematical model of a dance of elements into motion control commands to the motors. And that way, the computer can materialize the dance of the elements in front of the observer's eyes.
Actually, I did not expect that answer because when you said there'd be hundreds of motors, I think that's in your piece in the Louvre where there are a lot more. Because in the one you worked on, remember when we switched the Arduino to a Raspberry Pi?
Yeah.
When we did it, that only had like 10 motors, I think? Yeah.
But yeah, I have pieces with 30 motors, 60 motors, 100, 200.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
They're different ones. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
the software is generic enough so I can relatively easily specify different geometries to the software, so I can make different pieces and experiment with shape, form, materials, colors, and see what the outcome is.
So I have a question I've been wondering. Have you switched all of your computers to Raspberry Pis, not just Arduinos? Have you switched all of your artworks computers? Like, do any of them?
Most of them I have.
Okay.
I might have some still left around there. Maybe they are in storage or they're still working fine with their old early computers, like the two sculptures I have at home still have the old system and they're still working perfectly.
Okay, yeah. Do you have two? We have one, and the Houston Museum only has one, so I actually have as much as the Houston Museum has, I think.
That's right.
Yeah, that's very cool.
I built
I think it's slightly smaller, but
Yeah.
still, that's pretty cool.
All right.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much.
But we're
Yes.
st-
More questions. Sorry. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. How do you get your ideas? Like, your ideas for your artwork?
I think geometrically or mathematically.
So if you see inspiring mathematical equations, like you explained in the first area, you use them into your artworks, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a little bit more difficult because the software is not so generic that you can add any equation. It has a fixed set of equations that are added into a polynomial for the calculations, but it's definitely possible to just have new equations that have interesting shapes or behaviors and use that in the algorithms.
Very interesting. Alright. Okay.
More interesting is that you are asking me questions. That is really interesting. I'm so happy.
Just like an interview for my YouTube channel. Now, this is the last question from my script. Now, it might interact more questions, but how is it like having artworks in famous museums? Like,
Well, it's super cool, but I try not to overthink that fact, because what matters is that it reaches people and people can enjoy it or live the experience of seeing that artwork. And of course, it is important, and it's a major milestone to have a piece at important museums like the Houston Museum or the Kansas City Nelson Atkins Museum, or even the Louvre Museum in Paris.
yeah, if you didn't point out the Louvre, I would have been a little surprised because it's like the
I left the best for the last.
Yeah. So, anyways, before we end this interview, I gotta ask you, can you say like and subscribe to the camera?
Well, this has been one of my best interviews, and as such, I would really encourage you to like and even subscribe to Antonio's channel.
Yes. Actually, isn't it one of your only interviews?
No.
Are you gonna interview?
You want me to be honest? You're going to cut that part. You forgot to start recording?
No, it's recording right now. Okay, so anyways, make sure to like and subscribe. Bye.